Wow, 96% in terms of the HIV therapy. And it's, you know, we are amongst the 13 countries where this research was done. It's basically like light at the end of the tunnel as far as the fight against HIV and AIDS. She's back to change the lives of 57 young men and women. And she's going to tell us why. Dr. Joan Dassin, it's good to have you.
Thank you
on
very
the show.
much.
Where do we start first? You seem to have a love for this country.
I do. I love the way people are so friendly and interact with you, and I think in general we've had just a terrific experience in this program with all of our African fellows.
How many so far? I mean, so 56, 57 adds now to how many altogether? 100?
Well, here in Kenya we've had about 127 fellows. Over 375 from the 3 East African countries where we work, which is also Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda. And here in Sub-Saharan Africa, as well as Egypt and Palestine in the Middle East, we have almost 1,500 fellows in this program.
Talk about this program, because there are varied thoughts about Ford Foundation. Some say they fund businesses or ideas, you know, and now, of course, in terms of scholarships. Just bring us, you know,
the general objective is, first of all, to introduce the Ford Foundation to viewers that may not know about it. It's a private, not-for-profit foundation based in the United States. The funds originally came from the fortune of Henry Ford, but for decades now, the foundation has had no direct contact with the Ford family. So the funds come from the foundation's own endowment. And the general purpose of the Ford Foundation, like other charitable or philanthropic institutions in the United States, is to promote human welfare and advancement of society. Both in the United States, about half of the programs funded by the foundation are domestic in the United States, as well as abroad. And the way the foundation is structured, the headquarters are in New York, where my office is, but there are a number of offices around the world, and as there is one here in Nairobi, that is the office for East Africa.
Right. So this specific one that you're here for, to give the scholarships, so what is it? Tell us about that, what that entails.
Okay, our program...
And does it only focus on education or no?
Right. Our program is actually a foundation-wide program, because even though it provides scholarships, it's for training in a variety of fields in which the foundation is active. So that includes public health, that includes education, that includes governance and human rights, natural resource management, agriculture, a whole set of fields that contribute to human welfare and development.
Right. So 57. So
we have 57 for East Africa, but only for this year. And this year, worldwide, this program operates in 22 countries around the world, outside of the United States. So we have here in Africa, East Africa, Southern Africa, Mozambique and South Africa, West Africa, and the Middle East, as I mentioned. In Latin America, we give scholarships in Brazil, Mexico, Chile, Peru, other places.
You mentioned a number of disciplines, agriculture, and so on and so forth. What determines, what determines these specific scholarships? Is it challenges that we face as a country or as a region, and then you're looking for people who are studying those disciplines to change the welfare of the citizenry, or is it just an open check, really? You know, whatever you want to do, you look like a good guy, check someone.
It would be wonderful to have blank checks, but
then I would, then I'd be, I'll be candid. But how does it work?
No, we have a very structured process, and the purpose of the particular fellowships program, which is the largest single program ever sponsored by the Ford Foundation, is a global investment of about $350 million towards training and capacity building in fields that the countries which participate decide are priority fields for their development. So it works in the following manner. Our office in New York makes a series of grants to local partner organizations. Here in Kenya, we work with FAWE, the Forum for African Women Educationalists. In Uganda, we are working with a small organization called AHEAD, Association for Higher Education and Development, and we work with a research institution in Tanzania as well. So our local organizations are the ones that run the entire recruitment and outreach and selection process. And the purpose of this program is to reach people from marginalized areas, from rural communities, who are really living closest to the problems that they seek to solve.
Well done.
So our definition of a successful candidate is based not only on academic achievement, they all have completed their first degrees, but also in terms of their social commitment, how deeply engaged are they with their communities, and their leadership. The people that we select as fellows in our program, and there are now over 4,000 of them around the world, are people who have demonstrated their commitment to development and social justice in their home countries.
I see what you mean. Then how do you measure the success of your program so far? Do you see a direct impact in terms of the people you've selected, the resources you then, of course, build in terms of capacity, and when they come back, do you see a difference, and does that measure? And you say, yes, we think we've done our job,
Yes, absolutely. I think that's a very important question. In fact, that is the question. Number one, is there an impact? And number two, if so, how do you measure it? Because all philanthropic dollars should produce results. We are not in business to make a profit. In a for-profit setting. You measure your results by how much money you make. But we're investing in people. We're investing in human capital. And so the idea is that when we see, first of all, that we're able to reach the kinds of people we'd like to reach, people who are living in remote areas. For example, here in Kenya, about 3/4 of the fellows come from outside of urban areas. We have people coming from the coastal areas, from the Turkana region, from the Pokot areas, northern Kenya, and so on. So we know that one indicator of success for us is that we have reached the people we would like to reach.
I see.
That's very important. Another indicator is how well our students are doing in school. And we are sending fellows, under our program they can study anywhere in the world where they are able to gain admission, of course.
I see.
So from the Eastern Africa region, for example, most fellows go to the UK or the United States, but some have gone to Australia, the Netherlands, South Africa, and so on. And we have, in fact, supported students in over 40 countries to study in over 500 universities around the world, everything from Oxford, the London School of Economics, Harvard, Tulane, and so on. So another thing we measure is what kinds of programs our students are studying in. Are they high quality? That's our basic idea. We want to make sure that people not only have access to good universities, but the highest quality training, so they can be prepared with the best knowledge in the world to solve the problems in their communities. So we know that. We know that our students are not only being admitted to these wonderful universities, they're doing extraordinarily well. We have a completion rate, graduation, where people actually walk home with their diplomas, of over 90%.
I see what you mean.
So that's also an indicator. We're measuring how well they're doing.
Absolutely.
And then finally, we're measuring whether they're coming back home or not. And our latest survey data shows us that over 80% of our fellows are back in their home countries. And almost everyone who is not in that 80% are going on for further degrees or working in international organizations on behalf of their country. So on the basic indicators, are we finding the people, are they doing well in their studies, and are they coming home, we can measure our success. And what's so significant is that our model of our program is working equally well in countries around the world. So we know that we're on to something big.
Absolutely. So you may have, in terms of, so you know where we're going in terms of, as a continent, in terms of our socio-economic, dare I even add our political journey. Because you have, for many years, of course, helped in terms of building capacity to the young people of this continent. Where would you say we're headed to if you look at, in terms of even measuring how your, I don't know if I'm asking a political question, but in terms of measuring how, how your project has worked so far, when you look at Africa, are we on a rising path?
I think there's no doubt about that. There's no doubt about that. From economic indicators showing that countries in this part of the world are on an enormous growth track, that economic progress is being made, and I think that as seen through the perspective of our students, which I'm most qualified to talk about, we see that there's more and more political space, space in civil society, whether from the public sector or from the private sector, to work on growth with equity and on social development, social justice kinds of issues. That's what our students are engaged in, and we see them taking up that challenge with great dedication.
Dr. Joan Dassin, it's been an honor to have you.
Thank you so much.
Jalango, I'm sure you know, says a big hello.
Yes.
So you must receive her well. She's a wonderful person.
Thank
it's
you.
Nice to meet you, Doctor.
Asante.
Nice to meet you. Oh, good. Asante sana. Karibu. Before we go, of course, something to share with you, which is our quote for today. And here it is. If I can read it, I need to change my glasses. The best way to prepare for life is to begin to live. And of course, meet Dr. Joan Dassin, who will then open the doors for you in terms of funding, I hope. On behalf of the people who make it happen for us, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.